Okay, for this fourth and final video for the first project, I'm going to show you how to finish the project and save out your final file. Okay, so let's go back to our file in GIMP. And you can see I've made progress here. Okay, so here I can go to File, Open Recent. You can see there that it automatically zoomed me back out. But I've made a lot of progress here, and I just need to finish some detail down here and down here. So that's what I wanted to show you, what you might run into as well. So first things first, we're going to change our brush back to 2. So again, it doesn't save the brush setting for some reason. Okay, so 2 is our brush size. And also we're going to go to the color picker, and we're going to choose that color. So it looks like that worked out. Okay, so before I grab the pencil though, I want to zoom in. So I'm going to grab this and let's zoom back in really good. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to grab the pencil here and finish up. I want to show you a tool that you might want to get comfortable with as well. So coming up here, let's say I'm going along here, and notice here I'm not being too meticulous about how I do this. I'm just kind of getting in the general area of the pixels. Every once in a while I take my finger off the mouse so it'll save what I've done, so I don't lose it if I make a mistake. But let's say I'm going along here and I accidentally make a mistake and I go too far. Well, one of the easiest ways to do that is to hit Control Z. But what happens if it's too long ago and you have a line there that you want to get rid of? Let's say you can't undo it anymore. The easiest way to get rid of lines you don't want is to grab the eraser tool, which is right here underneath the pencil tool, and you can size it with the bracket tools on your keyboard, or of course you can do it down here as well. And then you can just grab your eraser tool and just kind of whisk away the stuff that you don't want. Okay, and let's try that again. We'll just try the whole thing again. And just get rid of the detail that you don't want. So the eraser tool can help too, especially when you're going back to finish. Okay, so it looks like we need to come back down to 2 pixels here, is what I'm using. You can use 1 or 2. I wouldn't go any larger than 2 though, because the assignment calls for 1. Okay, so some of the lines are a little darker than others. That shouldn't be a problem when we go to fill it in. Okay, so here I might add a little more detail as well, just to kind of fill out those colors. And then here, of course, we've got a semblance of a mouth here, so we'll add that. Okay. Finger off the mouse once in a while. Okay. Maybe a little spot right there. So looking pretty good. I may want to have some beard color variation in here too. So I'm just trying to do this quickly here, and then I'll show you how to save it out. So it'd be good to have a little detail here on the beard. I'm just approximating. It doesn't have to be exactly like the contours you see in the photo, but it should be pretty close. Close enough to create some contrast and variation for your line drawing, and maybe even to add color later. This will give this a little bit of a different appearance here. Okay. And maybe one more along here. And maybe some right there just to give it some color variation. Okay, and then we have some here along here for the mustache. Okay, we can add some color tone variation there to give it sort of that feel. Maybe one in here. So again, you can see I'm not getting too, it's not 100% accurate to some of the shapes, but it's close. And I'm only doing this mainly just to create that kind of variation for what might pass as, for the facial hair. So if I turn off my, if I turn the eyeball off toggle, you'll see there that I've added some of that variation to that. So that's pretty good there. And then here I notice there's an ear here. I'm going to just go ahead and fill in what I think is the missing ear. So here you can kind of improvise in parts too if you want to add anything to it. There we go, that'll work. And here, if I want to go around, I can just use my slider tools, or border tools. And we'll go ahead and finish it up with some variation over here. I think that'll do. So coming down here, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. And then we'll save this out. Just trying to keep those separated. You can get into some detail there without going too crazy. Okay, and then we'll just bring that around there, and then just have this come out right here. Oh, I screwed up there. You can see I kind of went too close. So Control Z, and we'll try it again. This time I'm going to go a little bit slower. Take my finger off the mouse once in a while. And finish this up. Here I'm just kind of free-forming. Control Z. But yeah, it's a good idea to take your finger off the mouse once in a while, or your stylus if you're using a pad. I'm just free-handing it with my finger. So anyway, you keep going here until those kind of basically connect. And then the last thing I'm going to do before I save this thing out is finish this trim here down below. So it's been a long journey, but glad it's almost over. Okay. Alright. So here I'm just kind of hurrying on the assignment. I would probably take my time, but you don't want to watch me draw lines forever here. So again, I'm taking my finger off the mouse here and there. And there we go. Okay, almost finished here. Oops. When I hurry, I tend to make mistakes, as we all do. Okay. And we're almost there. Okay, so that looks like we have enough there to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, and I'll show you how to get this thing set up the way you want it. Let's see. We want to zoom out, so I'm going to switch that down here. There we go, and let's move this over, and let's take a look at it without the... Okay, so that looks like I have a pretty good image there to work with. So what I need to do now is, well, first I'm going to turn this off. And I need to switch all of this color over to black now. So one easy way to do that is this color picker tool here. It's a select by color tool. There's a finger pointing to three colored blocks. Grab that, and you can leave the threshold where it is. And the idea is to just select a common color like that. And notice there I've gotten just about all of it. So I just left the threshold at 15. Now I'm going to change my foreground color here, this square down here, back to black. And then grab my paint can, and I should be able to fill that in on the selected areas. Let's see here. Fill whole selection. Let's try that. There we go. So I switched it down to fill whole selection here. And let me click it one more time, and that's probably good there. So now to deselect it, you can go up to select, none, or shift control A is your shortcut. And there's your line drawing. So now what we want to do is save this out with the white background. So we can leave this off, or we can delete it if you want to. I'm just going to leave it off at this point and see if I can save this out as a JPEG. Okay, so I'm going to go up to File, Save As. And let's see if that's okay. Let's try exporting it. File. Let me save it first in case I need to do anything to it. File, Export As. Let's see if we can export this thing as a JPEG file. There we go. So basically we have to export. We're going to call it 1-Acker. .png is not what we want it to be. We want it to be a JPEG. I don't know. I guess I have to change that. I probably don't. But so I'm going to go ahead and export that now. Quality, let's bring it up to about 98%, something like that. And go ahead and export that. Okay, and that's basically it. You're done. And when you finish with your JPEG, and so you want to save it out with just the white background showing. I turned off my face there and just left the drawing on top of the white background, and then flattened that out as a JPEG. And that's what you'll be turning in.